All right, Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, to like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth, when you give all praise to Barak, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, because God, his true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is in the Rawchaa Qadash, his true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of. Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody really calls Jesus Christ, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. He got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth that'll come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rawchaa Qadash is the Holy Spirit that has been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to those and apostles, great millstone, led us all to this truth. We've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when there's better find us who fear the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, but it's not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Shalom, all you sincere believers out there, tune in. And on after Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. And, okay. I think I said everything. Okay, so we're going to go into some various end time topics. And the title is Poverty is the Parent of Revolution, and privacy is an essential key for growth. So these are a couple things that, me coming in the truth, these are things that I want to kind of explain, like kind of my testimony on the things that I've struggled with even before the truth. And, I'm learning like a lot more how the Lord, how he will put you in a situation where you're in poverty for you to see really what you need to grow on, and, living with Zaquan, he gave me a lot of insight on really what what the Lord is wanting us to do as young men, because each one of us young men, a lot of us, didn't really have, I had a father figure, but he wasn't in the truth. So there was always an essential gap when it came to certain things that, I could keep ahead of. But then, I'm such I do a lot of things. So you'll get to the point where, you kind of get ahead of yourself and put too much on yourself, and it'll cause you to be disorganized. And that's how I've been like physically, like sometimes my room ain't always together and stuff. So in doing that, in that process, and like seeing like the stuff that I need to work on, in doing that process, in seeking Bahasham, Yahawashi, he's giving me ways to be able to help me get better than that. And that's what I'm starting to learn, like, because the elders and apostles, man, they took care of me, man. They basically took me off the street, man. Not in the sense of like I could have went and got a place, but I mean like spiritually too, man. I was out there, man. So I want to kind of go into that a little bit. and show that poverty that you're in when you have especially like kind of like a spiritual father figure as a Quan, and you know, and the elders, you know, they're trying to show us how to sustain ourselves. Like it comes to a point where you want to sustain yourself, because if not, then what's the point of them helping you? It's not like they're giving us a handout. They're giving us a hand up to be able to present ourselves to the church correctly. So these are things, you know, that we give thanks to the Lord for, man, because they help us be better men whenever, you know, you go through certain situations with brothers and you put yourself in a situation of elevating yourself in real situations, like handling your problems that you deal with, your demons that you got on you. And one of my toughest ones is organization sometimes, you know, and that's something I like to bring to the church myself, because I'm not afraid to admit where I have struggles with, but it gives me the opportunity to show how the Lord is helping me, you know, through those situations with various different things that I'm going to go into. So this is a scripture that you know, Zaquan gave me the other day, and I've really been meditating on it, and I'm starting to have a more, you know, a more thankful. And you know, I've always just thankful, but there's, as you go further into this truth, you start to really soak in what's being said to you. So, because when us as young brothers, we're not expecting to be elders, but maybe one day the Lord will call you and put you in that position. So even if you're not going to be an elder, you got to basically position yourself to present yourself like that, man, because the Lord might need you to do more for the church. So especially helping other brothers, you know, that's one thing that I am strong with. You know, I'm willing to always help brothers, man, and that's what Zaquan showed me too. So we're gonna go to start right here, 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This is a true saying: if any man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth the good work, and that's a lot. That's a lot that comes with that, man. And we want to fit in that stead of the apostles and elders to show them that all that work that they went through paid off, man, and be a comfort to them, to show them that, dang, I really raised up a young man to do the work right and focus on things that, you know, some of us, we didn't have problems our whole lot. You know, my parents, they were kind of like that too, because I'm all, like I said, I'm real all over the place sometimes, doing so much, like, you know, just work wise. I like working. So it says a bishop then must be blameless, a husband of one wife. And of course, you know, we can have multiple wives and whatnot, but you know, most elders do only have one wife. You know, I only have one wife right now, you know. So, you know, you want to learn how to, because that's part of your house. When you get a woman, like, you own her, like, you have to maintain that, you know. It's the Lord giving you a gift. It said, you know, a loving woman is basically a silent woman is a gift to the Lord. It's a gift from the Lord. So that's like something you don't want to squander, just like the faith that he gave us. You want to make sure that you present yourself, like, put yourself in a position to make sure what you're doing with an extension of you to glorify the Most High, man, the church. That's what it's for. So vigilant, sober, of good behavior, giving the hospitality, apt to teach. We all men, we be going off sometimes. Sometimes we get frustrated. You know, pressure makes a wise man mad. But you know, that doesn't make it to where we want to use that as an excuse to not grow, man. But it takes privacy to really grow. You know, you're gonna have to get to a point where you establish yourself in your house. But you can't. It's levels to it, you know. But that's what they really are showing us how to do, man. So, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy or filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. I don't have no children, but like I said, I have a rib. So there's certain things that need to be structured to show that I'm not squandering those gifts, man. You know, so living like under a brother or living under an elder, it's like you learn, like you basically learn all the stuff that your rib is going to do for you. You know, you get to like experience that and do all that. Because when you got a rib, she does most of that shit. So you can go work. So this is how I know why the Lord gave me a wife. You know, it's why I'm thanking the Lord that he gave me actually somebody who's going to help me. You know, so she do her thing. While she doing that, you know, I can also, you know, really make use of what of the other stuff that I really want to use to help brothers in the ministry. Because, you know, I got a gym business, man. I got like 400 pounds of gyms on me. You know, I want to, it's a lot of work, man. And I work almost every day, you know? So those are things that I'm definitely going to need help on, you know, because I've never done it before. So not a guilty looker, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, right? One that ruleth well in his own house, having his children in subjection with gravity. This is the one. So for man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High? So the church is the believers, you know. So, you know, you got to basically put yourself in a position where you do sustain your house. But as you go into the truth, when you first come into truth, a lot of times you're gonna need help, man. Brother's gonna have to, you know, gonna have to kind of lift you up a little bit and kind of get you out of that rut of being in the world, man. So this is another one, 1 Timothy 5:8, going into the same thing basically. But if any provide not for his own, especially those of his own house, he have denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So so what is your own? This is when you got a wife, man. That's your responsibility. You got to make sure that you maintain you and maintain her so she can help you. So, you know, because you know, my rib is like all the way on the other side of damn Babylon right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we over here building the church. So we put the church first. But now we coming to that level where now we can really step in and both be of use to the ministry, man. You know, I'm gonna have her making signs and all stuff like that. That's what glorifies the Most High, man. When you get a woman, you know, you get that kind of order established, because that's what has fallen in Babylon the Great is, you know, especially Judite families. That's not something big here, you know. So if you end up getting that kind of blessing, you know, where you actually have somebody who's trying, you just don't want to squander it, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm just really saying myself, you know, I want to do better, you know. So this is another one I want to add in, one more, and then we're gonna get into the lesson. So Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. So once you do seek the Most High, what you need help with, the Lord's gonna put you in that position to have it. But you don't want to squander it, man. You want to make sure you take that help that you got and position yourself as a man to where the church can see that you are stable. You know, that's what we want the church. That's what we want the believers to see, man. That we weren't always perfect, but that, you know, we took that the correction and the building up with thanks, man. Even though sometimes, you know, we do get frustrated. Like I said, man, we still men, you know. So this is the next one that I want to, you know, kind of put into with this, and then we're gonna get into the lesson. So it says, Sirach 29:22, better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than a delicate fare in another man's house. And that's basically how it starts out. You know, brotherhood really take you in, and they know you ain't got nowhere to go. It speaks of, in this same chapter, don't be hesitate to help that man. Don't hesitate to help that young man. That's what Zaquan did for me. He didn't hesitate. He came and helped me out, you know, but he didn't do it just so I could just, you know, just be down forever. Like, he did it so, you know, you can set up establish your house, your tent, you know. And he's been telling me that. He's been teaching me that as I grew. Because I was, when I came in the truth, I was first like, man, I want to live with brothers and stay close to brothers. But it's like, hey, you got to get to a point where, just like Apostle Barak said, he said, it's better to live alone. And if you got a rib, that's basically like you still living alone, because that is like your mini me. That's like your extension of you. She's supposed to be there, so she could be under supervision. That's how women's supposed to be, under supervision. Okay, you're supposed to have routine tasks to do this, but in living under a brother, it gives you that understanding how not to be a lion in your house too. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing all this shit that she's gonna do for you. So that's kind of just a small testimony of how I've grown in the truth. And I still work on it, man. I still work on it. It's not like I'm perfect, but I want to just mention that, for as just like a just a testimony, because I like sometimes presenting the things that I deal with and the problems that I have, to show the church that we really do care, and we're not afraid to be honest about our mistakes and stuff, man. We know that we still getting cleansed from the world. That's young brothers. But I know that even though we're young, that doesn't mean that, like, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that you don't need to get you gotta get in it quicker, man, because we don't have as much time. We're coming into the 11th hour, just like Elder Yahawah said. We're coming to the 11th hour, so we got to be just as quick to be ready to be an elder than all of them did. And the apostles, they had more time than us. We ain't got no time to be, not really taking what was given to us and moving on it. So going into that, we're going to go into this next little clip and kind of go into showing, the structure of America, things that are going on. But this guy right here, okay, he's an Israeli soldier, and we told you that they was going to do another 9/11 to basically create destruction and chaos. And this is how you really know that Israel, the land of Israel, these small hats, the Amalekites, Rawchas, these Edomites, man, these first descendants of Esau, the richest, you can tell that they incline with America, because they do the same thing America does. This is what they did with 9/11 to go to Afghanistan. This is the same thing they did with that October 7th, or I think it was October 7th attack, or whatever, that whole thing. That's what they do, man. They stage attacks, and then they go in there to do genocide, or to seize land, man. That's what they do. So I'm gonna go into a few scriptures on this, but let's just hear what this guy got to say. He's not speaking in he's not speaking English, but this little the captions at the bottom. So Lord, when is edifying to the flock, man.
תמוה ומה בעצם קרה שם. ואנחנו עוד פעם חוזרים לזה, ואני אגיד לך את האמת, אני חי עם איזשהו חור במוח מאז 7 באוקטובר, שמשהו בלב מרגיש לי תשמעי, אני לא יודע מה היה שם, אני רוצה להבין מה קרה, כמו כולם. פתאום הדבר הזה צץ, וההקלטה הזאת התפרסמה, וזה כמו פלשבק, החזיר אותי ממש לאותו יום, ומה נגיד? לחיילה, כמוני, כמוך, כמו כל עם ישראל, אני רוצה להבין מה קרה ב7 באוקטובר.
See, so even Amalek over there, most of their soldiers and people are like, don't even know what they're fighting for. They're like, what really happened? Like, most people like don't even really know what happened. Same way with like it happened over there in 9/11. They're like, we don't even really know what happened, because this is like an ordinary soldier. So Esau even deceives his own people, man. These people, they're not like the elders and apostles, man. They are not going to take you up in with good intentions, man. That's why we tell Jake not to join the military and stuff, man. And we have some brothers who were in the military and stuff, but they got out, man, because they know that you're going to end up fighting for a wicked cause, man. You're going to end up fighting for something that you didn't want to fight for. So continuing.
איבדתי המון חברים, נפצעתי קשה, אני כל יום נפגש עם המשפחות, עם ההורים, ובאמת, את לא יודעת איזה כואב זה להכיל את זה וללוות אותם, ואנשים רואים...
And this could be a Jake. You don't even know. This could be a Jake. Jake looks like that. He look a little bit like Jake, man. So keep going, still going. It's lucky. Just, it's just in the mind.
אותי שלום שטרית, הפצוע, הם לא יודעים כמה דברים אתה מנסה לעשות. אני כל יום קם למלחמה, אני מנסה להמציא את עצמי מחדש, אני מנסה לעזור למשפחות האלה. כל יום זה מלחמה בפני עצמה.
גם המלחמה בלי הרגל, את מתכוון על זה, על לחיות חיים חדשים.
בדיוק, וגם להמציא את עצמך מחדש, להתקדם בך.
He was fighting, he lost a leg, and all time, he got family members he lost, seriously injured, people that he actually cared about and stuff. And that's really, he could be an Israelite, man. Israel's scattered everywhere. There's a little bit of them in there too. And that's what we teach, man. They always try to teach all this black. It's by the spirit, man. Jake is scattered everywhere. And some of us are in there, a few of us, So we don't know if he's Jake or not because we haven't tested his spirit yet. So you want to, always observe before you just, but some people you can be like, yeah, that's an Edomite. Like you could tell, but people like that, he just enlisted in the army because he thought he was doing something for good. And it actually was, now it's on a wicked counterpart and he got injured and went through all this stuff and found out that it was a damn setup just so they can take over some land. And this is exactly how America was set up, man. They always do stuff like that to gain oil, power, stuff like that. That's how you know they're both Edomites, man. They do the same thing Esau did. They do the same thing. And this is why, it's vital to, when you come in the truth to have that stage of poverty, because that's what the brothers always talk about. When you come in the truth, you might lose your car, you might lose your job, you might lose your girl, you lose all that shit. Because that's what the Lord does. He puts that poverty in you so you can be like, have that mindset of a revolution in your spirit. Like, hey, I got to get right. Because you know how Paul said he wanted to be between poverty and riches. Don't no man, we're lions. Like we're the Lord resembles his men as lions. No lion wants to be living under another lion. Eventually that lion is going to want his domain, his shit, so he can run it. That's the point of the fatherhood, man. To raise you to where you can do that and still maintain the church. Okay? That's us standing as men. We showing videos of Jake flying and shit and beaming motherfuckers. If you can't even get a crib, your own little crib, and maintain your house and the church at the same time, the sanctuary, because every camp has a sanctuary. There's somewhere where that's where we go sit down and talk about this shit and make sure we, in order with the Most High. That's what you're supposed to build yourself up to. And it's a process. I've been with Saquon damn near 2.5 years, and it ain't even like when you do set it up like that, you got to do even more. Cause now you got to, bounce back and forth to make sure you maintain it. You know what I'm saying? You got to still be pulling up, man. You can't just be showing up to camp and then that's it. Like, this is real work, man. This is the church, man, for real. So in saying that, the Lord is teaching us structure, man. He's teaching us true family. He's teaching us how to, get better, man. So woe to the bloody city. It was full of lies of robbery, and the prey departeth not. So this is really going to America, Babylon the Great. But you can look at the mannerisms of them small hats over there in Israel. They do the same things America do. That's why when Russia shoot their missiles, they're gonna shoot at Israel first. And then everybody's gonna shoot over here. That's what's gonna happen. Because they're both doing the same thing, man. And their lives are being found out. Their lives is being found out, man. Verse 2, the noise of the whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and the jumping chariots, right? Military power, got people working as slaves, working us the shit out of us all the time. There's so much more shit and that's what stuff's gonna. Jake doesn't get. A lot of Jake don't see. It's about to get harder, man. There's so much more shit that I got to do at work now. Like, and when you working with Edomites, you working with like an Edomite or something. This nigga ain't gonna do shit. He gonna be on his phone all fucking day. He ain't gonna really scrub nothing because they're privileged, man. To go chill and go take a smoke break every 2 hours, all that shit, and really don't clean shit. Okay, that's what you're gonna go through, and then you're gonna be like, fuck. Yo, you just gonna have to do that shit. You ain't gonna get no account for it. Everybody just is gonna expect you to do it, and that's it. But that's cool, Jake. That's why it's good to have a woman to comfort you when you get home, because she's gonna acknowledge you and be, oh, you doing great. That's who's supposed to, kind of keep us in that sense of like, damn, at least somebody's that's like kind of like the Lord showing you that he's telling you you're doing a good job when you get stuff like that. Or good brothers around you and stuff. That's the Lord showing you like you're doing a good job. Because we really ain't looking for credit, man. But just like a son, if a son works real hard, he's gonna feel good about it when his father says you're doing a good job, man. Sometimes it's good to tell Jake like he's doing a good job, man, because that's part of it. It makes him feel like he's grown, and that's just me speaking as a man, because we supposed to endure as soldiers either way, whether we get shown thanks or not, man. We here because we messed up with the Lord. It's just cool when he does show it, because he has. He has, man. He really has. I was in a position where I ain't had no whip, okay, for like 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, and riding a bike, okay, 20 miles a day. And the Lord blessed me with a car, and I didn't even buy it. Somebody gave it to me. And it ain't just like, it ain't no Lambo, it runs. But now I gotta get my L's. I gotta get all my shit. Okay, this is what we doing, Jake. We growing up, man. And I've always been growing to an aspect, but I've never really had that opportunity to actually have a structured family kind of setting, where I'm running the head of the shit. And I ain't talking about the church. I'm talking about like family wise, man. The Lord's teaching us how to really serve, man. Because there are women out there that are hopeful like women that need help. But you got to help them too. If you ain't helping them, how they going to help you? You the main help, So it's a structure to it, but the brotherhood does come first. And we've been out here building this camp. So that came first. And we moved from there, man. That's how you know that GMS, our structure is not like Esau's, man, because this is what they're doing to their people. Verse 3, the horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. They did that whole thing just to go over there and do that genocide in Palestine, man. That's what they did. Now, we ain't siding with the war. We ain't siding with either one of them, because all of them wicked. All of them wicked. All of them are sons of the wicked. All the Edomites out there who's do whatever. Those people, we not siding with either one of them, man. We're against all of them. We're serving Yahawashi by condemning them for what they're doing. Okay? Verse 4, because the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, who's that? America Babylon the Great, and the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through their witchcraft. That was witchcraft what they did, man. That was sorcery what they did. You're going to just set up a whole fake battle, real people in there dying so you can go gain some land. That's what they do, man. That's what they do. So we're going to go into this thing, this scripture, this passage. It's a parable, and it's the parable of the boiling pot. Ezekiel. Ezekiel 38 verse 1. And oh no, not that. No, 24. It's lucky. And I try to remember because there's so many brothers, you want to kind of, so people could know who you are and stuff. We're supposed to be doing it. This is just a young brother, Bon Makala, pouring out of GMS Oklahoma camp. Some people don't know who we are or whatever. And so we got to put it out there. It's like, when you clock in, you got to be like, put your name, write your name down, get to work. So Ezekiel 24 verse 1, this is kind of going into what's coming on these people, this fire, man, for the unrighteous dealings that they have done in the earth, man, and all this claim of they're taking in people and actually helping them when they're not, you know. So again, in the 9th year, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, write thee the name of the day, even of this same day. The king of Babylon set himself against Jerusalem this same day. So we're already in that same kind of sense in the spiritually now with Trump, man. He's setting himself against you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. We having some jakes, they having dreams about Trump just shooting everybody in the street over here in Babylon the Great, man, in America. And he was like, all I was doing was trying to run and hide and not get caught. We was hiding under houses and shit and hiding under shit, I just had so many parts of the dream where I was just running with some random ass people I ain't even know, and we just trying not to get shot, man. That's the kind of stuff that they finna set themselves against you jakes, man. They're finna come at us, man. You know? So we want to make sure that we trying to sustain ourselves in a way where the Lord sees that all hands are on deck, man. We all are really trying to keep this tabernacle built, man. And we know that, when you do, like for me, like running a small business and stuff like that, that stuff can help brothers, man. If you really get it going, and I'm always real big on, trying to do something where we don't got to work for Esau, because that's what they make you feel like. You got to work for these people or something. We're smarter than them, man. We're the builders of their whole nation. We're the most wisest men on the earth, man. And Jake loses that and forgets that whenever you don't let that privacy during your time of privacy, that if you don't allow that time for your growth, if you don't use that as an essential key for you to actually stand as a man, you're not going to make it in this truth, man. We're supposed to be showing those in the apostles we can stand on our feet, man. So when they need us, they know we got them, because they all going to need brothers too. Just because they're apostles and stuff don't mean they don't need help too. So it's a order to it, You want to make sure you involve yourself around brothers, be around brothers, but at the same time, have your privacy, man, so you can get right, man. So you can really come correct towards the church. Like I said, be careful how you enter into the house of the Most High. Yeah, that takes preparation, man. It's just like when you cooking, like, cause I'm a cook, you gotta prep everything, man, and then serve it. You can't just come in serving and now you didn't get your mind clear. You didn't have, everything in order and got all you can get. For me, I gotta have all these gemstones in certain areas and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta clean them and shit. There's so much shit that I gotta do to really maintain this. I even got I know I'd be mixing back and forth. I'm kind of excited about some shit I got coming. I got these little cases. It's like these little plastic cases. It's gonna look real nice. It's gonna look way better than this. You can sell them a little bit more because the presentation looks better. It's all about presentation, man. Okay, and that's what you got to get better at as you go growing the truth. So another parable unto the rebellious house, and say unto them, saith the Lord Yahawah, set on a pot, set it on, also pour water into it. Right. So the Lord's getting ready for this great bonfire here in America, Babylon the Great, in the land of Israel, mainly aiming at you jakes, man, that don't want to repent. Because he's going to destroy the wickedness out of the earth, but he's really after Jake. He's really after 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, man. And the other one's for 4 corners of the earth too. He's really mad. And I'm going to make a point, because the last earthquake that happened in Russia, it was an 8.8 earthquake and only one person died. What is that? What did that tell you? The Lord will make a whole part of the earth shake just to kill one person, just to get one person. The Lord's not playing, man. He's not playing, man. You make a whole, that's one of the it was an 8.8, man. That's just like, we don't even hear about those really, bro. and only one person died. The Lord made him go through that and be the only one who perished in that thing. And nah, man. The Lord is coming for Jake, man. And it don't matter where you at, man. If he's going to get you, he's going to get you. So gather pieces thereunto it, even every good piece, the thigh and the shoulder, fill it with choice bones, right? Because they also talk about the ones who are not in the truth. You're in the congregation of the dead. So, you know, if your bones ain't living, you finna throw you in this pot, man. Take the choice of the flock and also burn the bones under it and make it boil well. Let them cease the bones of it therein. Verse 6, wherefore thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein. That's how the Lord looks at unbelievers, man. Scum. That's how he's looking at these people, man. Scum. And whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it. Verse 7, for her blood is in the midst of her, right? What's the her? That's really going into Babylon the Great, man. Okay? But it's you know, you can compare it to, you know, the things that happened to us in our other captivities, but this is coming up. This is going into this place getting blown up with missiles. Okay, this is a future prophecy. She set it upon the top of a rock. She poured it not upon the ground to cover it with dust, that it might cause fury to come up to take vengeance. I have set her blood upon the top of a rock, that it should not be covered. And that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. All the wicked atrocities they have done to gain their riches is being seen. It's on the top of that's why it said Babylon the Great, her wickedness has reached the skies. Her sins have reached the skies, man. There's no covering this. There's no hiding this no more. Okay? Everybody knows that Esau, even so-called white man's wicked. You don't have to believe it. It doesn't matter. Your spirit knows. Just everybody can't read the spirit. So verse 9, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, woe to the bloody city. I will even make the pile for fire great. Heap on wood, kindle the fire, consume the flesh, and spice it well, and let the bones be burned. That's why you got a damn make day-days every corner. And Lord's like, make sure they plump. Burn y'all ass up. Set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot and may burn, and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, and the scum of it may be consumed. She have wearied herself with lies, and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire. See, that's the 2/3, and everybody else in this thing who thinks Yahawashi is playing, man. They're gonna burn up here. Okay, that's what the Lord's going to do, man. Verse 13, and thy filthiness is lewdness, because I have purged thee, and thou was not purged. Thou shalt not be purged from thy filthiness anymore, till I have caused my fury to rest upon thee. See, it's going to be purged with fire, man. Verse 14, I, the Lord, have spoken it. It shall come to pass, and I will do it. I will not go back, neither will I spare, neither will I repent, which means basically, you know, give and not saying he's going to actually repent. He's just saying, like, turn away his wrath from you. That's what he's saying. According to thy ways and according to thy doings, they shall judge thee, saith the Lord Yahawashi. See? So, yeah, that's basically the point. So that's going into Babylon getting destroyed, man. You know? And you can really compare it to other times that us as being not having our houses in order, man. We got destroyed by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? In other lifetimes, man. So you want to make sure you're taking this time to really get yourself right, because the Lord is not afraid to put his wrath on you, man. He will put his wrath on you, your ass to get destroyed out here, man. You know? And that's why, you know, we strive for righteousness, man. Because if you're not striving for it, the Lord is going to put you in that pot, man. So this is Trump, U.S. must be prepared for nuclear war with Russia. So, you know, these are main topics that we go into, of course. You know, they know nuclear war is coming, man. because everybody's seeing the wickedness of this place being set at the top of the hill, man, for everybody to see that this place can't go on no more, man. They're going to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get rid of this stuff, man. So we're going to go in, this is a simple one, going into just showing you that Russia is going to win. Because, you know, in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, it speaks of the statues, and that's going into different kingdoms ruling. And every time there's always a kingdom after it, it's because they defeated the other kingdom. Okay? So Revelation 13, you know, we go into this a lot. Revelation 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw the beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 hands and 10 horns. That's going into the regions of the earth that Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is ruling. You know, you got Germania Minor, Germania Major, France, the Spanish, the British, the Romans, and what's the other one? The Greeks. Okay, that's the 7 heads. Okay, these regions that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is ruling in the earth. That's the 7 heads. And then the 10 horns is going into NATO and the EU. So you got like Belgium, Netherlands, Portugal, what are some of the other ones? Portugal. I want to name like a couple more. Portugal. You know, Spain. You know, that's we already named that one. Italy. You know, Germany. These are the 10 horns. These little small, you know, regions were ruled by these main. There's 7 regions and divided in. And, you know, it started with about 10 different countries, and now it's about 29 or 30. They've you know, kind of you know, just like the Lord said, He getting that pot ready. He said, make sure there's enough meat in there. So He let, you know, the beast system grow so it could be slaughtered. So upon his 10 horns, and that's why I said in Amos 9 verse 1, it talked about cut them in the head, all of them. That's talking about these 7 heads. He's talking about cut them out of power. So and upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy, which this beast is going into America, Babylon the Great, because they're basically the forefront of this structure, this system. And the beast, which I saw, was like unto a leopard. Now, when you think about a leopard, you can go back, like we said in Daniel 2, you had Alexander the Greek. Okay, that's why there's Greek customs here. And you got all the fraternities with all their Greek little fraternities and stuff and sororities. Okay, that's going all the way back to Alexander the Greek. These are the same spirits that's back, man. These are the same people living the same way they used to, wickedly, man. Okay? So we tell you don't go to college and join sororities and do all that either, and fraternities. So we tell you not to do that either, because you're involving yourself with the beast system, man. That's what you're doing. Okay? And also Alexander the Greek, he had a leopard coat, okay, that he wore all the time when he went to battle or when he was taking over stuff, man. He had a leopard coat on. So this is basically the beginning of the rise of Esau, even the so-called white man, basically. Like it is full reign over the earth, starting with Alexander the Greek, right? Coming into America, Babylon the Great. And his feet were as the feet of a bear, right? So how do we know that Russia's the bear? Well, one way you can know is that Russia's mascot is a bear. Okay, that's like their national mascot. It's a bear. Okay, so at the feet of this statue, that's saying what? When there's nuclear war with Russia and America, Babylon the Great, Russia's gonna win. That's why I said the feet are that's the next ones to be running shit. Okay, but they're gonna get destroyed by who? The elders and apostles on down. If we are those men, 144,000 elect men, which we pray to be of, because they're gonna come down after America is destroyed. And they also probably also gonna go into America, Babylon the Great, because you're gonna have Edomites that went in their bunkers and survived the nuclear destruction. We're gonna pull their ass out, man, so they can go into slavery. And we ain't gonna pull their ass out and they're gonna go into slavery over there, because America's not gonna be inhabited anymore. That's gonna be that's that boiling pot We're gonna bring their ass over there to the other side of the earth, and it's gonna be just through hardcore, brutal transfer like they did us on them damn ships. It's gonna be brutal transfer. Then your ass is gonna get to work. Same way with everybody over there. Like I said, what you did what they did under us, we gonna do under them. You think they ain't gonna have no situation like we did on them slave ships? This shit is gonna be worse. Twice as worse. You go read about some of that shit, man. They did some wicked shit to us. They had it where they didn't let us bathe, so it'd be like they said they could smell the ships from like 2 weeks away. And then when you get there, it's like this big, and some of us, they were just throwing us overseas whenever we was fucking, you know what I'm saying? Too much or whatever. They was throwing some of us in the sea all chained up together and shit, man. They were doing shit like that to us. And then when we got there was these big ass salt baths, and they would just throw your ass in the salt bath to decontaminate your ass, and then throw your ass out in the field and have your ass picking cotton or something, man. That's the wrath of the Lord, man. That's why we fear the Lord, man. We know what he did to us, but Esau don't fear the Lord, but he's about to. He's about to, man. So the feet of a bear, and that's the mouth of the lion. The lion is talking about Great Britain, because Great Britain helped establish this structure that is coming about. Okay, you had something called the British Mandate, and 2 million soldiers went into the land of Israel to basically fund what Israel is doing right now. You know, the small hats are doing with America, man. They funded that. Okay, so that's why the mouth is a lion. They're the ones who spoke the authority for this statute to be processed, you know, through time. And the dragon gave him his power, which the dragon is talking about the Roman Empire right here, that Roman Empire kind of spirit. You know, that's why this place resembles Rome too. Okay, spiritually, you know, really physically Rome. You know, physically Rome. You know, also, you know, you can tell the Greek is physically Greek too. The infrastructure. That's why they have, because you know, Rome took a lot of customs of the Greeks, and you know, them toga parties and all that. That's Roman Greek customs, man. You know, Zeus and all those. That's Roman and Greek mythology. That's what we were going into the other day. So the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, right? And you know, the next scripture goes into a lot more deeper history, going into the Byzantine Empire and stuff, but we're not going to go that far. We just wanted to show you that Russia is about to win this war, okay? This nuclear war. So whether America is going to be prepared or not, this place is going to get blown up, okay? That's what it's saying, because he talked about the boiling pot, and he was talking about America, Babylon the Great, how she was just wicked as hell, and you're going to burn her up, okay? But he said what? He said, speak unto the rebellious children of Israel. So we were speaking to Israel, saying, if you don't get right, the Lord's going to burn you up here with Esau. And it's going to be another thing. It's going to be some very weird creatures out here too, man. I got to go into it whenever I see it. It says terrifying radioactive wasp nest discovered at nuclear bomb site. I talked about this the other day. Radioactive nest has been found by workers in the site at a site in South Carolina for merely used to make key parts for nuclear bombs. The discovery was made by the workers who routinely checked the radiation levels at the Savannah River site, and because that's what this devil been doing. He been perfecting his craft, just dropping bombs. Got little areas. All you do is just drop bombs, and they not getting all the animals out of there and shit. They just blow that shit up. Some of them animals is morphing because of that shit, man. Okay, this devil's got to go, man. It opened in the 1950s, and where the plutonium pits required to make the core nuclear bombs were manufactured. You know, so a lot of this shit, man. Man, Esau is a damn witch sorcerer, bro. On July 3rd, they came across a nest that had been built on the post close to liquid water from nuclear sites, from a nuclear site where the nuclear site is stored. The U.S. Department of Energy explained officials say that when tested, the nest had 10 times the radiation level as allowed under federal regulations. So it's like radioactive wasps. If you got stung by one of those, like, fuck, you're in trouble, man. Just the kind of stuff that's going to be out here during Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, because of what this devil is doing here. Okay, all just weird shit he's doing, man. That's why the Lord's going to cook this place. Wisdom of Solomon. I go on this one every time when we see stuff like this. Wisdom of Solomon 11, verse 17. And it reads, for thy mighty hand that made the world of matter without form, wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions, right? And you know, that's kind of like twofold. You know, it could actually be a bear, or it could be what? Some damn Russians. See what I'm saying? Or fierce lions, which could be what? British soldiers. Because it's going to be, because, you know, Great Britain, it said in Jeremiah 50 verse 11 or 11 and 12, I think, no, 12 and 13. But it really goes into, I think, yeah, it's like basically through there, like 11 through 13. It goes how the mother shall be sore confounded, which is basically the one who helped create America, because they did the British mandate in 1948. Okay, they had that process of building that place, and look what they're doing. They're aiding America. Okay, and they're going to be ashamed of this structure, so they might send troops in here too. Okay, so you could run into some now, because we just showed you that Jake having that dream of just soldiers just in here just shooting at everybody. Okay, so bears are fierce lions, because really they're going to want to probably use even America, when they come after their own citizens, they're going to want to use different soldiers, because they know that their law is, if their military sees that they're doing wrong, they're supposed to basically overthrow the government to protect the Constitution. But they're not going to do that. They're going to be trying to just protect their own families and shit. They ain't going to be worried about taking no damn Constitution, because this place has no morale in it anymore. Who would want to protect this place? You got motherfuckers walking around here with booty shorts on, whole ass male, just walk around booty shorts. Ain't nobody trying to protect that shit, man. No, man, no. Nobody's not going to give a fuck about this place real soon. Wisdom of Solomon, verse 18, or unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created. A radioactive wasp is not going to be anything good for the earth at all. It's not helping anything. It's just here to attack shit. That's it. Breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes. You know, that could be a varied range of things. You know, because we're talking about the Leviathan is going to come out here, man. So what else kind of stuff that is going to be out here? And we know that for sure that there's not, like, Leviathan is when the Lord makes creatures, he doesn't just make one of them. So he's probably got like when you watch the movie Godzilla, that's probably like a baby Leviathan. That's probably like a tadpole Leviathan, man. This motherfucker is going to be big as shit. This motherfucker is not going to be nothing to play with, man. This thing is going to be huge as shit, man. You are not going to want to fucking be here. Some people going to see that thing and straight have a heart attack and die, man. How scary that motherfucker is going to look. It said it eats metal and shit. Like, it's not nothing to play with, man. So, verse 19, thereof, not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight might utterly destroy them, right? Damn, have a heart attack. Shit, man. That's what's coming, man. So going into the 8.8 magnitude earthquake in Russia, like we were talking about it, you know, it kind of went into, you know, it kind of gives them concerns about tsunamis in Hawaii and the West Coast. Okay, that's how, you know, that's how the coast, that's how powerful it was, man. And they got little videos on it, but we ain't gonna watch it. But when you go to lists of earthquakes in 2025, they got listed right here that only one person died. Okay, where is it at? Yeah, because this is the deaths. These are the deaths. Like 10 people die right here, 7. So when you start all the way back 2015, he shook a whole place just to judge one person a couple times. That shows you how much the Lord, like, hey man, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of people to come just take your ass out. That's what we're saying. He'll come straight for your ass. Hey man, the Lord cold, man. The Lord's scary, bro. Like, he ain't nothing to play with, man. He's scary, man. And that's why we want to make sure we come correct. So when you are sincere and you know you love the Lord and us is, us as men of the Lord, you have some that, like when it comes to the elders and stuff, man, they worn out of this place, man. We're worn out of it too as young men, but we kind of, we're younger, so we're supposed to be kind of pushing a little harder, especially like, if something happens, man, to your brothers, you want to be able to have some stability to take care of them, man. We try to work a little harder, not to just be rich, man. We doing that so, you can really sustain the camp if something happens to brothers, man. Because the last thing you want is to have that feeling of like, damn, knowing you could have did more for a brother, man. Because it said how you treat your brothers, how you treat Yahawashi. So dozens dead as violence erupts over government plans to eliminate fuel subsidies. Army takes to the streets. 1,200 arrests. So, we got, it's a violent protest, man. They said 22 people died so far. Okay. So it's hey, they out there. They was out there tripping, man. They was out there tripping. Then you got over here, at least 38 dead, 80,000 evacuations in China. Some more floods, man. Okay. The Lord is bringing sorrow. These are the beginning of these sorrows, man. The earth in distress of nations, man. With perplexity, man. That's why we mention it a lot, because this is the more we see it ramp up. That's the closer that we're getting to, the end. And like I was listening to Elder Manatazakba, and he was kind of speaking about the mass awakening. It's happening, but it hasn't really fully expounded to where there is going to be a lot. Jake, you got to have yourself ready, man, because there is going to come a time where there is going to be thousands of people trying to figure out how to get right with the Most High, man. And maybe you don't see him in person or whatever, but it could come to that where you do start having a lot of people trying to be around you for this, man. So we do have to make sure that we're in that mindset, us young brothers, even though we're young and we've never really done nothing like help, lead a camp with elders and stuff. You want to be ready for that, man. You want to make sure you're really knowledgeable on various different things on top of the doctrine as well. Yahawashi was a carpenter. Matthew was a tax collector. Like they were skilled in various what's the word I'm looking for? They were skilled in like various professions, man. I want to get to the point where I actually can craft a gem. You can like take a gem and it'd be like a raw version of it, and you can maybe sell that for $100. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you could sell it for like my biggest gem is like 24 pounds. If I took that and turned it into a cutting board, I could sell it for like 1,000. So instead of going and work for Esau and doing all this bullshit, you can craft some shit, man. That's what Apostle Hart was talking about. Figure out something to do. Find something to craft, man. We're the cultivators of the earth. We can do anything, man. We can build anything. You just have to put your mind to it. But we don't want to just overdo it. But there's ways which you can do stuff, and these Edomites, man, they fucking buy anything. tell you, you just put it out. And these people are storing up treasures for the day of. These people are storing up treasures for the day of wrath, man. They're not. They'll buy that shit. That's all I'm saying. Especially if it's shiny, you know, people, women like shiny shit like a motherfucker. Second address. And you know, it talked about how they worship wood and stone and stuff. They definitely be buying that shit. So you know, you gotta like, you know, I had one dude. He was he like owns a taco stand, and he said something real smart. He said businesses are born off of necessity. So once you find a necessity, you can create you know, a defense, because it says money is a defense, man. And life's kind of fucking boring. You want to kind of find something to do. It's kind of boring sometimes. You want to find something to do where you're not really like got to be out there, and you know, because it's a lot of crazy ass shit going on right now. But you still want to find something to do at the crib after you get done doing your lessons, your studying, and you know. So that's just me. That's just me speaking as a man. That's just, you know, I like working with my hands. 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, we seeing that. We just heard about earthquakes. We seeing the uproars, right? And let me go back. I want to go back to 1. Let's just start at 1. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. See, so that's why we like showing part of you know, what's going on in the earth and calamities and floods, and because these are part of the signs coming to pass. That's why we're pointing out, which I have told thee before. Then thou shalt understand that at this very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. This is how we know the world. The Lord is visiting the earth, and also another way is the men, the righteous men. Coming upon you. But you know, the reason why they don't believe in GMS and believe in us as being, you know, possibly these men is because they expect to think like we're like Raphael, the damn ain't like, we're not perfect, man. Like, what do you think how do you think we got here? We sinned against the Lord. We like, they're looking for this like super punctual guy. Like, no. Like, you're gonna come in, when you come into the truth, you're gonna come in, make some mistakes, you're gonna slip up. But what you want to know is your best teacher is your last mistake. Because if you don't learn from that mistake and learn from that catching hell, then basically everything that the apostles did for you didn't mean shit. Okay? And the apostles, they're not like expecting you not to fuck up. They just want to see when you do fuck up, did you learn from it? All right, get your shit together. Because you're going to fuck up. Let me tell you that. Verse 2, thou shalt understand at this very same time, right? You're going to begin to visit the world. Verse 3, wherefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars and people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So, you know, this is stuff that we're seeing. Going into, you know, a classic, Luke 21:25. Right, the return of Hamashiach, which is talking about Yahawashi. Hamashiach is how you say that is you know, the anointed. You know, that's what Christ means, the anointed. Okay, but really how you say that in the Rawchaa Qadash is Hamashiach. So verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. This is Yahawashi speaking. He's like, you're gonna see all this kind of stuff going on just before I come back. Signs in the sun, signs in the moon, in the star and in the stars, and upon earth distress of nations. And what's the signs in the stars? Them chariots, the so-called UFOs. People be sighting them all over the place, man. Those are signs that the Lord is visiting the earth. Okay. So in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves warring. I want to look up this word in the Greek, perplexity. Okay, and see, that's why the whole New Testament was written in the Greek, because the time Yahawashi was on the scene, and you know, we were in Rome. A lot of our people had just came out of the Greek captivity, being under Alexander the Greek. That's why they were calling us Alexandrians, because we were slaves to them. Just like today, we're called Americans, but we're just slaves to America. We ain't really Americans. You know, we're Israelites that got put in slavery.
Strong's G 640. Aparia.
That's how you say perplexity. So, state of one who's in perplexity, a state of quandary. Let's look up that word. See what that says. And then I got one more article that I want to go into, because this is, you know, we go over this numerous times, but kind of show you a little bit too, kind of why the wickedness is like it is here. There's always a root to it. You know, we want to show you the root of a lot of the wickedness why it's like that, and why they're having certain things being addressed through these articles. So this is what a lot of people are ending up in. Quandary. A state of perplexity or uncertainty over what to do in a difficult situation. So us being as the hopeful elect, we're praying to the Most High that when these difficult situations come, you know, we are stable because of what we you know, use that time when we were given, you know, certain lessons and certain things from our mistakes and our shortcomings, to take our time to go in a place of privacy and basically prepare yourself, man. Correct yourself. You know, make sure that, you know, you getting in a state of you know, making sure that you're available for the ministry, man. It's more than just doing lessons, man. You know, it's way more than that. You know, you got to really get involved. So, going back, I wonder what the root word says. Root word's a Greek word too, so you can know probably in the Old Testament they didn't use this word a lot. Nobody used this word a lot. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's go to the root word and read that. Looks like aparijo or something.
E639. Apareo.
To be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting. See, you know, we want to be not like that. Okay, and that's only going to be for the elect in that day, man. They're going to be not left wanting. They're going to have what they need, just like he's doing right now. You know, but we're not saying that we are the elect. We hope to be the elect, but if you're the elect, the Lord has been using correction to prepare you how to be without things, because there's a lot of things that we have that we really don't need. He's just going to have the basic necessities that we need. That's all you're going to want, because you're going to know that, like, you're going to see all them creatures out there and stuff. It's going to be, it said that we'll be in league with the animals as the stones of the field. So in that day, you're going to see a lot of horrific creatures, but a lot of them are not going to come, you know, they're not going to attack you, man, if you're of the elect. To left to be wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn, to be at loss with oneself, be in doubt, not to know how to decide or what to do, or to be perplexed, have no way out. You know, it's heavy, man. That's what's going right now. They're waking up and just water everywhere. That's why I was in Texas just the other week. They ain't know what to do. Left ashamed. We've been here for 30 years. I don't know how this happened. Because the Lord's visiting the earth. Then you want to blame Jake. And part of it is our fault. Because we're the ones that's telling you the Lord's going to destroy the earth. And after we do that, he's going to do it all the way. Okay, not saying like completely blow it up, but I'm saying like destroy where it's not inhabitable anymore, and it's going to be built back through slavery. There's not going to be none of this shit is going to be here. He said he said to the prophets, Yahawashi said to the prophets, he said, you see all these buildings? He said there will not be one stone left turned upside down. We tear this shit up. Okay, everything that Esau did, he's about to uproot. Men's heart failing in for fear, talking about your mind is your heart. Even the mighty men, they're going to be failing for fear and looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Ultimately with them missiles. So, and like I said, when you go in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, it talks about basically the bricks forming, all them getting together, and then by the 10th verse, it said that Russia is going to think an evil thought, and that's going to be sending missiles over there to Israel, and then everybody's going to look at America, because why? They're both bloody cities that are full of robbery and lies. They're going to be like, what's the point of we don't need them no more. Get rid of them. And it's going to be the Lord that puts that thought in their mind. So this is my last article. I'm going to go in. I just got one precept on it. And we're gonna go a little bit into what everybody knows as Operation Paperclip, and go a little bit into that. So, a new satanic neo-Nazi group is recruiting children as young as 12. So, really, this is nothing new. So, they're saying, at the start of this year, they've been waking up to, this graffiti and stuff sprayed across the southwestern Germany, areas like that and whatnot. But these origins, German is in the Bible as the Temanites. Okay. And this is why you see neo-Nazi groups in America, Babylon the Great, and they're not new, man. This stuff has already been organized and set up a long time ago. So when you ask Chat GPT, what is Operation Paperclip? Now, we know what Operation Paperclip is, most of us, but we're going to go into some of the technicians and engineers and some of the positions that they were given in America, Babylon the Great. So Operation Paperclip was a secret program carried out by the United States government after World War II. Its goal was to recruit German scientists, engineers, and technicians, right? The Germans, even whom had worked for Nazi Germany, to help U.S. and military space efforts, particularly against the Soviet Union during the early Cold War, right? Going right, past 1945. Okay. Key time frame 1945, early 1950s, with some activity into the 70s. Managed by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, part of the Office of Strategic Services, which later became the CIA. See? So that's what they were called at first, the Office of Strategic Services. Now they're called the CIA. These are the ones who orchestrate these kind of systems. They're the ones who really put people in power, man. Okay? So even presidents and stuff, a lot of them aren't really they don't really have a choice, man. They get put there. Just like we always say, a true king doesn't seek power. He's called by necessity. See? Just like that guy said about a business, right? It's a business is born by necessity. So we're not saying that necessarily like the Lord don't need us. He don't need us. We can be replaceable, but there is a need of somebody to do the work. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we're here. That's why he called us. Somebody has to do the work. Doesn't mean that if we don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. Somebody gonna get this shit done. Okay, that's prophecy. We just want to be the ones who did it. So, a number of Germans brought to the U.S. over 1,600 scientists and their families. So it wasn't just them. They bring a whole damn city of Germans over here. Okay, some of the most wicked ones in Nazi Germany. Because you got to think they had power over there. They had money. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was like, in a sense over there, killing Jews was righteous, okay, to them. Killing it, and really, they wasn't even, you know, Jews. Those was small hats, man. Those are Edomites that they was killing. They was really killing their own kind. You know, for the most part, there was probably some Jake mixed off in there, though, too. So, main areas of work: rocketry, aerospace, nuclear physics, medicine, chemical weapons. Okay, this is all the stuff that they bring over here. Notable scientists: Werner von Braun, former SS officer and lead engineer behind the Nazi V2 rocket, later became a key figure in NASA and the U.S. space program, helping develop the Saturn V rocket that launched Apollo astronauts to the moon. And who was in Apollo? Some Jakes, man. They died in that shit, man. Man, they just used Jake like a motherfucker. Hubertus Strughold worked on aviation medicine for the Nazis and became known as the father of space medicine in the U.S. See, they're trying to basically be able to sustain themselves up there, man. That's why they called them over here. They was like, man, we trying to figure out how to, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that we, you know, when the Lord comes, we try to escape, you know. That's like trying to leave this place. But your body, like our bodies can't take that much pressure, man. It can't. Like there's so much pressure in space. There's no way you're traveling in a damn Pluto or Mars or some shit. And they keep thinking they will, and it's not going to work, man. Our bodies can't handle all that. You have to be changed to get out of here. This is a prison, okay, for the elect right now. But then later on, it's going to be, you know, a utopia. It's going to be basically the rulership is going to start here, and it's going to be in the land of Israel after it gets built back. So controversy, many of the scientists has ties to war crimes or the Nazi party, and some had directly overseen and benefited from forced labor and unethical experiments. They were some Jakes was in there, but mostly there was Edomites. For some of them Edomites, they were taking them and making boots out of their skin and shit, man. Okay, lamps and shit. They was doing some weird ass shit. These are some weird people, man. And they was like, just come over here and just live with us. The U.S. government intentionally sanitized or ignored their records to justify their recruitment. And that's what Esau's like. Don't matter if you wicked, you know some shit, he'll use you. A fact that has caused long-term ethnical debates. Why it matter? Operation Paperclip helped the U.S. make major advances in space exploration, missile development, Cold War arms race, but also raised serious questions about justice, morality, and how far a country should go in the name of national interest. See? So this shows you why there's no morale here, because people are questioning, like, damn, like we just took down them and we looked at them as the enemy. Now you just gonna hire their ass and bring them in here? So let me know if you want to dive into the, you know, declassified documents. Nah, we don't need all that. Related CIA operations or what the Soviets did in response. That's actually probably some good information to know what they did. That's pretty cool. Maybe go learn into that later. So here are more notable scientists involved in Operation Paperclip. So we got this dude, Arthur Randolph. Okay, right? He was a project director for the rocket at NASA. This guy, Curtis D. Buss. He was the first director of NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Helped manage the Apollo launch. A lot of these brothers, not brothers, but these dudes, these men, these Teamanites, you know, these were their roles in Germany. Director of the Metalwork V2 rocket factory, where slave labor from concentration camps was used. Okay, these are wicked men, man. And they're operating in some high level positions in Babylon right now. You know, maybe, you know, most of them are probably dead, but their sons and their families are still out here doing shit. Role in Nazi Germany, member of SS and oversaw V2 launches. You got Roberta's stronghold associated with human experimentation on prisons in Dahu. So this dude's whole job was to basically experiment on people, man, and do weird shit to them, man. Who knows what they did to them people in there? We know some of it, but some of it was horrible. Key figure in U.S. Air Force space medicine. He's in the Air Force, called the father of space medicine. Is that guy? His name was removed from awards and honors after renewed scrutiny of his Nazi links because he was fucking wicked as shit. Okay, that's why we telling you, man, that morale's down. That's why a lot of there ain't no recruiting right now, man. It's hard to get soldiers to fight for this place. Just like over there in Israel, you got that soldier being like, damn, over there with the small hats in the land of Israel, you like, damn, man, I went over there and fought for this shit and found out this shit is a setup. That's how it was over here with Afghanistan happened. A lot of soldiers like, man, I ain't trying to fight this war no more. They got having to see like a little child, strapped up in a bomb trying to run in there and kill you and shit. That's all orchestrated by a Babylon the Great, man, because a lot of their enemies, they create them. Okay? They funded Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all that shit, man. How you think they got all their weapons? Esau got the sword. They ain't got no way to get all them weapons without Esau, man. So background, mentor to Warner, this dude Herman Oberth. I'm going to read a couple more of them, then we're going to go in precept and get out of here. So mentor to Werner von Braun and pioneer in astronautics, worked on rocketry and propulsion systems. Our work wasn't officially part of Paperclip, was brought over and worked in similar roles. So they wasn't even part of the operation. They just brung his ass over here. This dude's a military commander, Walter Dornberger, worked for Bell Aircraft developing missiles and space technologies. That's why I said in Isaiah, it said that he created the Smith that blew up the coals in the fire. There's these Germans, man, the Teamanites. Hans von Ohain or something, role in Nazi Germany, inventor of the first operational jet engine. Worked for the U.S. Air Force, contributing to American jet propulsion systems. See? Look at this one. This dude probably, this is why they bring this dude so they could do more surveillance, so they get the MOTB ready. Heinz Skolik or something, role in Nazi Germany, work on the infrared and radar technologies, contributed to the development of stealth and electronics welfare systems. See? These people play big roles. People play big roles in America, man. Okay, so a lot of these people were smuggled into the U.S. and that's how you see a lot of these little Nazi gangs popping up over here too, just like they do in Germany, because they're over here. Okay, because of Operation Paperclip, like after you got, you put 1,600 people over here and they have babies for the next, because they came just before the baby boom. So there's probably way more Teamanites here now, like a lot of them. Okay. And they be looking like all of the people, because some of them probably started branching out. Some of them probably sleeping with Jake women and shit. And now it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers out here. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is what which shall be, and what is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. So we know that these are not new gangs and this is nothing new. Okay, these the same people practicing the same type of wickedness, but it's more increased now because they've been perfecting their craft of wickedness, throughout centuries. Verse 10, is there anything, and this goes into reincarnation, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? So whenever you hear people say new stuff coming out, you got to keep facilitating your mind. This is not nothing new. It said, don't think it's some strange trial that has come upon you, man. This is we already been told this by the Most High, if we are the elect, man, that this stuff is going to happen. So we can't be acting all surprised or, like it said, perplexed whenever it happens. We can't be acting like there ain't no way out and shit. You know? See, this is new, or it had been already of old time, which was before us. See? So Operation Paperclip and stuff like that shows you that this isn't no new gangs. They're just Edomites. They're wicked. They get around and then they have children and babies, and their babies don't really do, usually, the offspring don't usually do things as valiant as the father. So they just end up like starting a gang or just doing some little shit that's not good for nobody. When it comes to the Edomites, because that's their purpose, is to take peace from the earth. That's why most of the violent acts and stuff they try to say is Jake, it beat their ass. So verse 11, there's no remembrance of the former things. That's how you know that you've been here before. We've been here before. We just can't remember our past lives. Okay? That's why it says that. Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. See? So, you only be given a portion of what you need to know. What you need to know is that, you are here because of your sins. And we also need to know that without Yahawashi, we can't get cleansed from those sins. He was our sacrifice. He bought us with a price. So you, like we always say, you want to get to a point where you've facilitated enough mistakes to get your shit right, because that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, the mistakes are supposed to build you. Okay, that's why when the Lord sent trials on Jake or put trials on Job, and sent trials on apostles and corrected them in measure, they became strong men. So without the struggle and the correction and part of it's like a little bit of humiliation too, because it's supposed to make you feel like, damn, I need to get on my shit, man. Because just like I was talking about in Sirach earlier, 29, when you look that up in the chat GPT, it kind of explains it. It says the passion reflects the idea it's better to live humbly in your own space than to rely on the generosity of others and suffer the humiliation or control that can come with it. So the control and the humiliation is supposed to basically teach you, when you get your household set up, how to rule your house correctly, because there is a point of humility in this truth. That doesn't mean that, you're not looked at as a man when you go through that shit. It's just this part of the walk, man, for you to want to get right. You got to be able to take correction where you see it, and then you got to move on it, man. And sometimes moving on it is in a way where it's like you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you don't normally do, because like I said, I'm a brother who really love living with brothers, but now I'm stepping up to another point because I got a lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of stuff I gotta, I'm gonna need some help, man. That's why I got my rib, man. And I'm still gonna have to do a whole lot of shit but it's gonna be cool, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to have like a little help me, you'd be like telling to make signs for the camp and shit. I'm not good at all that shit. I don't know how to write good. But yeah, man, I just wanted to just kind of put that as a testimony, because this is exciting time for Israel, man. Like, he's bringing our families back, and, the father is in the house, and we having, like real growth. So, but privacy is an essential key for that, Jake. Just remember that, as you go along, new brothers coming into the truth. It's not like bad if you eventually get to the point where you can, get your shit and have your little tent. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're supposed to be headed to. So hey, Lord willing, this edifying, and Lord willing, we continue to do lessons and stay in the faith, man. So hopefully I can, some of these with the camp, some of them it's going into some scriptures in the Paleo Hebrew, the Rawchaa Qadash. So I'm gonna try to write them out and post them up here sometime, Lord willing. So Shalom to Israel, hopefully to Israel, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, like the other nations, scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawashi. Double honor to the us and apostle great millstone, let us all to this truth. Lord, when it's edifying to the flock, peace and blessing to the elect. Wa Abad Babal, Kwame Yasharala, Shalom.